Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Dominique Woodward and I'm a trauma-informed life coach. And this channel is all about helping you heal, grow, and thrive to live your very best life. In today's video, I want to share 5 tips with you that are going to help you to become an even stronger self-advocate for your mental health. This is something I'm extremely passionate about, especially because of my own experience over the years, not being the very best experiences, and also through my work as a physical therapist assistant, my education that I do with my clients, as well as with my coaching clients. So these are going to be 5 very simple but effective tips for you the next time you go into the doctor's office so you can feel more confident when it comes to addressing your concerns. Now, if you saw last week's video, which was all about what a healing journey really is and how to get started on your own, and if not, then I'm going to leave it in the cards so you can check that out, because this is a great follow-up video to give you a little bit more clarity and guidance on taking that first step to seeing your doctor and presenting them with the questions that you have of concern. So let's start with the first tip that I have for you to becoming your best self-advocate. And this is simply making a list of all of your questions and concerns. Now, yes, this seems very obvious, but I have to say it's a mistake that I have made, and I've also heard my patients and clients say that they have made the same mistake. So writing every question and concern down either in a journal, or it's in your planner, or it's on a simple sticky note or scratch piece of paper, but making a collection of every time something comes up in your mind of a concern or a question. Making that collection of your concerns is going to be of great help to your primary care physician as well. And I can't tell you how many times I've walked into the office and my brain that was full of questions decided to just empty itself completely out. I am sure that you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, but this is going to guarantee that you get all of your questions and concerns taken care of. The second tip that I have for you is to not be afraid to speak up if you disagree with something your doctor has said. Now, I know this can be very difficult because we are going to the doctor as they are a healthcare professional and they ultimately know more about our health than we do. But that does not mean we can't at least challenge what we're being told or given for answers. And if this means you disagree with something you've been told, ask the doctor to go into more detail, give you more reasoning behind his answer. So that way you can maybe feel more confident in the answer. And if you still disagree, it's okay to mention that. Communication between you and your primary caregiver is beyond important. And if that communication is even feeling a little bit tense, you at least walk away knowing that you were adamant about letting your voice be heard. And you won't have that thought in the back of your mind of whether you should have spoken up or not. The third tip I have for you is to take notes at every one of your appointments and to confirm the next action step with your doctor. When you're in your doctor's office and you're having words thrown at you that you have no idea what they even mean, and information coming at you left and right, you're going to be so thankful that you brought a notepad or your planner to take notes in. And I think it's extremely important because you then have the ability to review these notes when you get home, and you can have a collection of notes that you keep in your own file. I can't begin to tell you how I wished I went into my appointments with my notepad for note taking, because now as I look back into the beginning of my journey, it is a complete blur. I don't have any records of my own. I even have lost complete contact with my doctors because of all the moving around that I did. When it comes to the simple action of taking notes at each of your appointments, there is tremendous power knowing that you have record of every question, concern, and even action plan that is being made in the process of solving your concerns. Aside from taking notes at each appointment, making sure that you have confirmation of the next action steps with your doctor is going to give you, again, so much power in knowing that you are on top of your game. You are taking your health as a number one priority, and your doctor is seeing it as well. The fourth tip I have for you is to be persistent and don't be afraid to be the squeaky wheel. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And unfortunately, when it comes to the healthcare system, there are times when the ball is dropped and we have to be the ones to step in, especially when it comes to receiving lab results or even return phone calls. And I know for me in the past, I have felt so incredibly annoying to a lot of my doctor's offices because I was calling them on a regular basis, looking for an answer to a question that I had and left with a nurse, or even looking to get that referral to a specialist that I had been waiting on for far too long. Unfortunately, these are things that are going to come up. So when it comes to being that squeaky wheel, you are not a bother. You are taking your health seriously and you deserve the answers. So be persistent if need be. That way you're guaranteed to get your answers in a timely manner and keep that momentum up that you are creating on finally getting these questions solved. And my fifth and final tip is to listen to your gut. There's something to be said about listening to your gut instinct and your intuition. So if you're seeing your primary care visit for the very first time, or maybe it's one that you've seen a few times already, and something just doesn't feel right, question that. Ask yourself, what was it that just didn't feel right about that visit? Was it maybe that you didn't feel heard at your visit? Were your questions glazed over or not even fully answered? Were you feeling maybe that the doctor didn't see you and was looking at you as just another patient? Unfortunately, so many doctors out there are overworked and overwhelmed by the number of patients that they are required to see every day, and of no fault of their own, but they are human beings. They get tired and overwhelmed just as you and I do. So if you're at a visit and you don't feel seen and you don't feel heard, then you can either bring that concern up to your doctor and see if you can resolve it between the two of you, or if it's something that occurs regularly, seek out a second opinion. When I first started my healing, I went through 5 primary care physicians before I found the one who actually saw me and who took the time to listen to my concerns and to believe that I knew there was something more to it. It wasn't simply that I had anxiety, which is what my first few primary care doctors led me to believe. They would hand me the prescription and say, well, you have anxiety and this is how you're going to manage it. No other options were given to me, and I wasn't willing to take that for my final answer. I knew there was something more to it, and I was ready to get that answered, even if that meant that I need to go through doctor after doctor until I found the one that I knew was for me. So when it comes to navigating your own healing journey, don't be afraid to get that second, third, or fourth opinion. If something isn't sitting right and it just doesn't feel right within your gut, then seek another opinion. If you're not feeling heard or seen, make sure you find somebody that will provide that for you. You don't deserve anything less. This is definitely an area where you want to listen to your gut and make sure that you are feeling supported along your journey. Now, as I've mentioned, a lot of my journey has been to overcome anxiety. And I know all too well what it is like to live with the fear and frustration of not knowing what to do and how to manage it yourself. So if you're somebody who is on this same path to overcoming anxiety, be sure to subscribe to this channel, because next week's video is going to give you some major insight into what anxiety really is. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, sending you so much healing love.